What is everybody? Welcome to the Investing Bros. I am T Shroom.
Today we got coming in the 30-year fixed mortgage rate came in this morning. It is now up to 6.69% for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage in America. So if you're looking at buying a house, don't. Not right now. Looking at the FOMC minutes here today, coming in at noon, my time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Initial jobless claims coming in tomorrow. It's going to be the amount of unemployment claims for the week. Previously was at 242,000. Still consensus and forecast of 245. Guys, trueflation is now under 3%, almost 2% under what the federal government has reported. It is now up to 37.3% chance that we will see a 25 basis point rate hike going on in June on the 14th. Hey, looking at the 1 hour charts right here on Bitcoin. And what I want to show you is the daily, because I want to show you guys, even though it looked like we had a whole lot of volatile movement, here is the price range that we've seen on Bitcoin going back to the 12th of May. So about 12 days, almost 2 weeks. Still just really ranging sideways. One thing I like to do, let's come over here. Let's grab this regression trend tool and let's just throw it in here and you'll see nice little tight range that we're hitting here. And that range, by the way, if you're just interested, going to be running about a 3% range to the upside. But yeah, a lot of rejection here running off of that dynamic reactor, still sitting above the 200-week moving average. So just kind of squeezing in here. And I do believe this 200-week moving average might be a big reason for this sideways ranging action that we have going here, because we got this running as that support. And I think a lot of people are just front running their loads on this. Load ups on this 200-week moving average. But 4 hour rejection off of the upper trade band is where we have gotten all of our rejections from here. From the bottom, which was back here, the very bottom that we hit back here on November of last year, to the top point that we peaked at. That is where that fib lines, ranges are being drawn from. And you can see here that all of our rejection is coming off of that 236. We broke down underneath it after it was support right here. We broke down beneath it, hit the 200-week moving average. And now that is our line of resistance, is at 236 coming in at 27,370. I want to go grab a fixed range volume profile, and I'll show you guys what I'm seeing here. We're going to take this up from the last time that we broke this 200-week moving average here, and you can see that bottom bounce that we're getting is the value area low of the fixed range volume profile. So guys, we've got great support here. This fixed range volume profile coming in right here along with the 200-week moving average. Fantastic support. Can we go below this? Absolutely, we can. It's Bitcoin. I would be watching over here on the Gaussian channel. That is probably going to be this 25 range coming in on the median here. The Gaussian channel is what I would watch for there. Looking at the fib channels here, that if we do break that 25 range, as I brought up the other day, we're probably looking at that like 21,000 to that 20,000 range there. 20,700 to the $21,000 range coming in on that 786. So Ethereum, so we had on the oscillator here, we did have a hidden bearish divergence that printed and a downward trend on the oscillator right here. And that was literally going to be coming in. If I look at the 4 hour on this, you'll see that that actually came in on this blue candle here, which is going to be a bullish candle. On this candle was when we got that downtrend. And now we're running down, breaking the zero line. And it looks like we're probably going to come into the bottom of the cloud before we get a bounce on this oscillator. Starting to get a little curvature, but not seeing any squeezing here that would tell me we're about to pinch like we did here before we move into an upside on this movement here. This trend line that was running up here, we do have this trend line coming in right now at about 1800. So I do think that this is going to hold here pretty well. If it breaks that, I'd be watching for 1785 coming in right here. But again, as I said the other day, I do have an entry for 1700 to add to a long position because that is about as low as I think it could go. If we look here and see where the 1700 is, that is going to be down here at the golden pocket. So it is very possible, guys, that we could see, if Bitcoin doesn't hold and we get a lot of bad FUD, that we could come all the way down to this golden pocket again, because we are beneath that 786 on the fibs. So let's go, Ada. We're sitting here looking right here at this lower value area low right here. That's that purple line running off of this fixed range volume profile, going all the way back to the 7th of May here. We are currently getting rejected right now off of the point of control. That's that dash red line running right there on the thing. That comes off of this fixed range volume profile. So I do suspect that we're probably going to come back down and test, if not break this value area low in a move to get down to this lower trade band. If I go ahead, let me get into my overlays here, turn off that fixed range volume profile. You'll see this is the trade range right here between the two gold bands on the predictive ranges from the Smart Money Concepts bundle. I do think that if that value area low does not hold right here coming in at about 36 cents, we're probably going to revisit this lower trade band here because it does kind of fit inside. Again, 70% of all price action occurs between these two gold bands on our predictive ranges. And I think this is where we're going to probably come down to. Maybe wicking just past these wicks here to grab up that liquidity, say thank you very much, have a nice day, and back up it goes after closing out people that have their long trades with their stop losses set down here. Looking at futures for the traditional markets right now, this is going to be the Dow Jones futures, looking at the 4-hour right now on 8 cap. We are breaking this trend line right now on the Dow Jones. We've been inside of these two trend lines here, creating this nice wedge pattern, and now we're going to be breaking down out of it. Not looking very bullish at all there, although I will say that the oscillator is looking like we could get a flip here soon. Maybe this is a fake out and it pulls back up in, but I would be watching this oscillator and watching this trend line. If we break this and get support back in, then we could look at upside, but not until then. Let's go ahead and drop on the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Ugly drop going on here on the 4 hours. Going back to Monday afternoon at market close, you can see about a 2% drop there coming off of that.
Binance denies commingling billions in customer funds. Here's what they've said. We've been very public about where the company had regulatory shortcomings in the past. There's no reason for a respected news outlet like Reuters to continue making stuff up. So Patrick Hillman, Binance's chief communications officer, going ahead and calling Reuters a respected news outlet, but they are making stuff up here with this commingling story. So who's right, who's wrong? We will have to wait and see. Attorney General recuses herself from criminal investigations into former FTX executive. So let's read into some of these details. Oregon Department of Justice took over the investigation into Nashad Sanai $500,000 donation to the Democratic Party of Oregon last October. Nashad admitted under oath in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York that he agreed to make political donations in his own name that were funded with money from SBF's companies FTX and Alameda. Elections manager Alma Wallen said in a press release. Moving into China, specifically Hong Kong, new crypto rules suggest Hong Kong is testing ground for China, says some experts. Well, let's see what they have to say. Tokens to be traded on these platforms provided in Hong Kong will have to pass a minimum criteria that will ensure that retail investors should be less prone to market manipulation. And then large tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum are expected to pass that criteria, given the listing criteria. Lower cap tokens will be in more doubt. Okay. These guidelines are due to come into effect on June 1st, 2023. Chinese Ethereum Conflux draws spotlight as Hong Kong welcomes retail traders. Tokens of Conflux Network, ticker CFX, an Asian-focused blockchain that some have dubbed the Chinese Ethereum, saw a spike in prices earlier amid increased attention from traders after Hong Kong decided to let retail investors trade crypto, which some say could fuel an influx of capital from Chinese investors. Ledger Key Recovery Service paused amid backlash and will open source the code. So there's a quote here that says, "This experience has been very humbling. We miscommunicated on the launch of this product. It was not our intention to take people by surprise. So because of that, we understand the community's direction and apologize for the miscommunication." Goldman Sachs and Microsoft are quietly using AI to lay the groundwork for the next Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto price bull run. So this is from Forbes.com. So a lot of mainstream eyes reading this today. But the new blockchain, which will begin testing in July, the new blockchain being Canton Network, which is being produced by Deloitte, S&P Global, Moody's, BNP Paribas, uh, and Paxos and CBOE. They are releasing this new blockchain, which will begin testing in July. And it's designed to fix problems generally associated with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto, such as lack of privacy, control over data, cross chain interoperability, and scaling. So that's what Goldman and Microsoft are teaming up to do. Also, BlackRock chief executive Larry Fink, meanwhile, told shareholders the largest asset manager plans to develop permissioned blockchains and tokenization of stocks and bonds. This year, adding very interesting developments are happening in the digital asset space. So you're seeing TradFi here, kind of gear up, lick their chops, get excited about moving more and more into the crypto space. We've got something to look forward to tonight at 6 p.m. Ron DeSantis will launch his presidential bid with Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, there he is. Ron DeSantis, he's my governor and he's my boss in the Florida National Guard. But Musk and DeSantis will host an event on Twitter Spaces, the site's platform for audio chats, on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be moderated by the All In Podcast's David Sachs. Wow, you made it to the end of the video. Great job. Now, if you want more content like this, whether it be TA on Bitcoin and Ethereum or altcoins, or you just want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest news in crypto, then stay tuned and tune in to our 9 a.m. live show every single weekday morning. It's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when you tune in live, use the keyword grip strength in the chat, and you'll get a special shout out from anyone who's paying attention to the chat. Love to see you there.